When talking about investing, we always talk about the exit strategy, especially when it comes to real estate. What's your exit strategy? What's your strategy to get all that equity out of your home and make it liquid? If I told you that I started my real estate portfolio 7 doors with $4,200 completely cash out of pocket, would you be interested in finding out? Stay tuned to the end of the video and we'll definitely dive into how I did that and how you can do it maybe a little better than I did. Hey everybody, Jeremy Kane, eXp Realty here, dropping one of the most important topics to me, real estate investment. It's my goal to help clients build financial freedom through real estate, and that's absolutely what we're talking about today. I'll share a little bit of my journey along the way, as well as different tips and things that maybe I didn't take advantage of, but maybe should have when I was getting into my real estate investment portfolio. Please subscribe, like, give me a comment. I love to have that dialogue. Give me a comment about when you want to buy your first investment property. Would love to hear it. Would love to start that conversation with you. So let's get into it. When talking about real estate investment, there's 3 specific entrance strategies that we can talk about. The first strategy to get into real estate investment is one I wish I could have done and would have known about back in my 20s when I was able to be mobile and move around. It's the house hack or the Nomad strategy. This involves purchasing a home with a low down payment or no down payment. You could even use down payment assistance for that first one, and allowing the equity to support itself. So if you're really feeling it, you can actually live in the basement, rent out the top floor to a family of a house, and maybe rent out another room in the basement. And eventually you probably will be able to cover your entire mortgage with your rent. It's still your primary residence. You're still doing what you said you would do for the loan. And then as you move forward, there comes a time where you can put all that money away. So money that you're saving that would normally go towards paying your mortgage, you can save up and collect that money so that you can move forward to the next purchase and have funds to do any fixes, any closing costs or anything like that that may come about. So that's the first part, is you live in a house, maybe have a couple roommates, get help or cover the entire mortgage, and then you're moving on. The next home, you may have to do a 3% or 5% down payment. You can't do down payment assistance for all of them. So the next house, that leverage, maybe a 97% loan to value. So that mortgage is a little bit lower. Maybe it's a little bit bigger of a house. You have the ability to rent more rooms. If you go that route, you can also do this strategy just by moving from house to house, paying your own mortgage and moving after a year or 2 each into the next house. And slowly you'll eventually have to get to 20% down as the loan rules advance. But if you can leverage that primary property loan and down payment amount as long as you can, it allows you to stack properties a lot quicker versus waiting till you're settled down in your primary residence. Then all of a sudden you have to have 20% down, 25% for multifamily if you're going the duplex, triplex, quadplex or more route. So that's something that you have to absolutely, take into account, is how much cash out of pocket are you going to need to get into these properties. It would be great if we just had cash lying around, we can invest it and just collect those monthly rents, but that's not the case for most. So if you're mobile, if you don't have a family, as you add humans to your family, wife or husband, kids, it makes it harder. There's more stuff to move. It's not as appealing to pick up and move every year or 2. So the house hack Nomad strategy is definitely one for somebody younger in life, or somebody that doesn't mind moving, and maybe it's a couple and they're older and they're just building up properties and they don't mind moving. That's fine, but it gets harder as you add more people to the puzzle. Option 2, when talking about real estate entrance to your investment portfolio. Option 2 is the never sell again strategy. Purchase a home, make sure you purchase a home and aren't renting from someone else while you purchase an investment property, because really it's just 0 net after you're paying down someone else's mortgage, but they're paying down your mortgage. It just doesn't add up, right? It's 0 at the end. So first things first, get into a primary residence. Once you have a primary residence, stay in that property, do what you have to do. If you come to a point you can't move, you don't want to move, you have the kids, you love your house, whatever that may be, you have options. Leveraging your equity in a way that allows you to keep a mortgage on your primary residence that's affordable and you can do it, but then taking money out of that for equity and putting it towards, a rental property. And if I was going to do this, I would run numbers to make sure that the person that's renting this property is paying your increase in mortgage on the cash out refinance, as well as covering your new mortgage on the new house. So what that does is allow you to leverage the bank's money, get an investment property that may be worth $500,000 and is appreciating on that $500,000 mark, versus one property that's just appreciating on the $500,000 mark over here. So as we do that, cash out refinance, buy this as an investment property, again, 20% to 25% down, depending if you're single family or multifamily. For investment properties that you do not plan to live in. So what I did when I was 19 years old, I purchased property with my dad's help, rented it out to roommates, lived in it, held that for 15 years, I believe, when it's all said and done. But after I graduated college, I moved from Denver to Fort Collins to Denver. And yes, I was that guy that was renting on one end and having a rental and owning a house on this end, but I needed to establish some income. So don't do that, but it worked out for me. So I eventually was able to cash out refinance on my investment property in Fort Collins and purchase another single family home here in Denver. By that point, I had already put 3.5% down on a primary residence for my girlfriend and I. Actually, she bought it, full disclosure. And so we had our primary residence going. We kind of had the primary residence lane and then our investment lane, and they clash at some point. So what we did there was had a single family home in Thornton, rented, had a single family home in Fort Collins, rented. That was going great. Everything was great. Primary residence in Englewood, we sold that, bought a new primary residence, moved up within our primary residence, no more cash out of pocket. But then we were able to sell the Fort Collins house, purchase a duplex, and that got us to 3 investment doors. And then as time moved on, we were able to refinance our personal residence and buy another duplex. So now we have 5 investment doors. So we just basically are leveraging equity, and we still have a great deal of equity. I will tell you, be very careful with this. You don't want to be at 80% or max out all of your loan to values, because your rents continue to go up or your mortgages continue to go up. If rents happen to go down at any point and you're upside down as far as rent versus mortgage, no cash flow, then that's a problem. So be very careful. Don't do it too soon. Let the equity appreciate. Keep yourself a cushion between your mortgage payment and your rent payment that you're receiving, and kind of go from there. Then, if you don't have the ability to do that, or you're not gaining equity that quickly or whatever, the other option is to find funds from somewhere else, whether that's a 401k that's only gaining 3% a year, 5% a year, stocks, Bitcoin. Maybe you've done great with stocks in the last year, don't think it's going to last. Pull that money out, invest it in real estate. It's a little bit safer. Again, your initial investment of 20% down is growing on a $500,000 number versus just the $100,000 number that it does in the stock. If you have that, obviously, and you feel like that is the way to go. You want to get into rentals. You want to have people pay down your principal. A lot of people ask me, hey, like I have $500,000. Should I buy one house for cash or 5 houses with a loan? I would say 5 houses with a loan, because you're taking that $500,000 and having it gain on 2.5 million at that point. So that's just a strategy there. What I did with this, I had some extra cash from my savings and things like that, and we purchased a short-term rental that we're actually able to utilize up in Grand Lake. So I kind of did a mixture of all of these, not really a house hack, but step 3 is just to leverage your current assets, investments, whatever that may be, put it into the real estate investment and have that grow in a different way, because someone else is paying down your principal while you're gaining appreciation, especially in our current market, on that top dollar. So those are the 3 entrance strategies. Always would love to open that dialogue up, hear your questions. I know that people talk about real estate all the time. I hear it in restaurants. I hear it when I go out. I'd love to have that conversation one-on-one with you and see how I can help and build your plan. Absolutely follow me on all the socials at JKCO Realtor. Have a great night, and let's build an investment empire for you alongside mine. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.